There are a lot of amazing games right now coming out, so everybody has been playing everything. But there was a story about how Xbox is going to be getting some performance updates that a lot of people seem to have missed. Let's dive in. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you like my content, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my videos go live. I do appreciate you all watching. Thank you very much. So right away, there's a thing that happens every year where developers get together, and it's called Microsoft Game Stack. And this year, there was a presentation all about Unreal Engine 5 and some of the performance gains that Xbox is going to be able to get in the coming months. Microsoft Game Stack is put on by Microsoft, so of course they talk specifically about the Xbox console. So one of the things they talked about right up front is how VRS adoption on the series consoles, it sees a 10 to 15% reduction in GPU frame time, common on Xbox Series X. It's content dependent, so it depends on the type of game you're making. And VRS wins are reported as being higher in worst case scenes. Xbox Series S benefit is smaller. VRS wins are better. The higher the resolution. Expect Xbox Series S to benefit more in a resolution mode versus a frame rate mode. So what kind of gains does this presentation is like an hour long. And I mean, if you're really into the nitty gritty, nerdy stuff, you can dive into it, but let's skip to the end. Let's skip to the kind of cool stuff and the results of the VRS scenario here, right? So the long and the short of it is there's a 5 to 25% saving in GPU time that's achieved by both forward and deferred titles. It's typically 10 to 15%. VRS increases quality, and VRS enables titles to handle more volumetric effects and heavy post effects. Async compute is required to maximize VRS on Xbox consoles, and you can consider as a developer using VRS and pixel shaders for full screen passes. This is where Gears 5 got the majority of wins for VRS. The best TAA quality per frame, rotate HW pixels, center offsets, and prefer cone step mapping, parallax mapping, etc. to highly tessellated geometry. Whoops. And then if you go forward a little bit, they talk about, oh my goodness, how long does it take them to go to the second page? Don't need to worry about camera cuts. You stick with 2x as the lowest shading rate. This stuff's a little nerdy. But basically, the long and the short of it is the findings were that there's a 33% overall improvement on Unreal Engine 5's nanite system. That means that you can render complex constructions on the screen quite easily, and that is great. And then just overall, the 5 to 25% GPU savings is going to be quite huge. They have a few scenes where they actually show some of the lighting and such and how it handles like the shading rate from Luma and the shading rate from Reinhard Luma. Reinhard is something that was introduced shortly after Gears 5. This is taking a look at Doom and how the different lighting effects are handled. And then there was a shot of Gears in here somewhere that I also wanted to show you. Here we go. So VRS performance savings, it looks like there's like up to a 57% savings on SSAO, which is just massive. That's going to give developers so much more to work with. It was a while ago when I made my first performance review was on Gears 5, and Gears 5 is honestly one of the most technically impressive games, just in terms of what they were able to do with the Unreal Engine. I was really impressed with the coalition, and it was just really cool seeing what they were able to handle with the Unreal Engine and how they made it really work for them. On a separate, smaller note, speaking of GPU, Game Pass Ultimate's getting a few games. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Galactic Civilizations 3, and Super Mega Baseball 3. Those are being added in addition, so nothing too huge, but just wanted to note it. And there was one other thing that happened that I wanted to touch on. So we've covered off on, basically the headline of the video. There are going to be some performance boosts in Unreal Engine 5, including some 57% on SSAO. And what was it, 33% for nanite, and nanite is going to mean our games are going to look really, really pretty in the near future. That's really, really cool. And this is, they're calling it VRS 2.0. Now, if you remember the Gears 5 asset that I had forever ago, VRS is just how they're constantly rendering different parts of the screen based on where you're looking and how much do you actually need to be rendering. It's really, really cool that they've figured out how to continue to push games to be able to look nicer while also giving developers more resources to work with. And finally, I wanted to touch real quick on Phil Spencer. This is him giving his DICE acceptance reward. Let me fix that there really quick. And yeah, he had a few really, really interesting things to say. Basically, he said, I encourage you to go watch the whole thing. He said, we have a responsibility. Do everything possible to ensure this entire industry is about treating every single person with dignity and respect. We fall short when we tolerate abuse. We fall short every single time everyone feels unwelcome in our industry and in our communities. We can, we must, and we will do better. That was Phil Spencer at the DICE Awards. And the long and the short of it is I think he's calling for more unity. You know, there were a lot of people who have worked with every developer, every company, like Nintendo was there. I don't know if anybody from Sony spoke, but it was nice to see Phil get that recognition. And he consistently keeps using these opportunities that he's getting to talk about what we should be doing as an industry, as opposed to, you know, what his goals and aspirations are. And I think he's low-key saying that basically his unhappiness with the Activision situation, it's going to be dealt with once the purchase goes through. Unfortunately, they can't really do anything about that until that actually comes to fruition. So hopefully the work environment that those workers end up in after Microsoft acquires them is markedly better. And I had brought up some concerns in the video where apparently the deal came together really quickly, but somebody pointed out something really, really interesting. And I appreciate the commenter for doing that. They said, well, what's the alternative? That Activision just keeps going under these terrible work conditions, or that somebody steps in and corrects the wrongs and gives people a better life. I do think work life anyway. I do think that Microsoft is capable of doing that. Like I said, they have great reviews on Glassdoor when I looked for that video. Yeah, that gives me a little bit of hope that developers are going to have better working environments. And with the news that it sounds like 2023 Call of Duty is going to be delayed, I have a lot of hope that is going to come to fruition, that better work environment. Anyway, that's basically the Xbox stuff. News has been a little bit light. I'm probably going to do the PlayStation Game Pass video for the next video, unless something crazy happens. But yeah, it's a sort of a slow time right now. We're all just playing games. Like, I can say I'm playing Gran Turismo, so I can say I have it, and you can expect to hear more on IGN later. You know what? I'm just not going to talk about anything anymore. Embargoes are weird. So I'm going to get out of here. And thank you so much for watching. If you like my videos, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when they go live. I do really, truly appreciate you subscribing. If you want to become a member, memberships are turned on. Thank you so much to all of the members who support this channel. Couldn't do this without you. I really, really appreciate it. If you want to become a member, hit that join button right down there. I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.